Hey Floxies, I just wanted to give you this quick introduction to this video because what I did is I took the last minute of the interview with Pastor Rusty and put it in the beginning because I thought the last minute of the interview was so powerful, and Pastor Rusty wanted to make sure that the last minute was seen, and of course being last it's not going to be seen, so I put it in the very beginning for the first minute. So you might seem like you're out of sync a little bit. That's on purpose because I wanted you to see the last minute of the interview. So I hope you find value in this testimonial of Pastor Rusty, and where there's help there's hope. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you, Rusty. I appreciate it. Any last messages or spiritual messages that you want to relay, because this is people see this, and I'll tell you, this is going to be making a huge impact on a lot of people that watch this, just given your situation in life and who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I would just come back and reiterate, there's always hope, and hunker into your faith. There's hope. Get good advice, like Dr. Hugh has been given out. He's helped me tremendously. I'm so grateful for his advice. He's walked me through it. We changed things. We changed other things. It helped. God gave us gifts. The Bible says all good and perfect gifts come from God. So I don't want anyone to feel like they got to go journey alone. I would say hunker into your faith, but come alongside someone who's gifted like Dr. Hugh to give wisdom, because God gives gifts. Dr. Hugh has a gift. Use that gift partnered with your faith, hunkered in hope, and you're going to make it.
Perfect. I want to cry.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Dr. Hugh.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
See you, my friend.
Bye-bye. So, hey, I appreciate you coming on and supporting the Floxie community here, Rusty. I really appreciate it. I think all the Floxies that will hear your success story are going to appreciate it as well.
Yeah, I'm glad to be able to help.
Well, good. So just kind of tell us, like, what happened, how you got Flox and how things actually occurred.
Yeah, I would say, let's see, it would have been last year, 2019, first of the year. I had a couple couple serious sinus infections.
Mm-hmm.
And so the doctor prescribed me levofloxacin, which it did its trick. I mean, it eventually knocked out the sinus infection, but then I started noticing after the fact, I lost feeling in my fingertips of my left hand. Mm-hmm. My chin would go numb. I started realizing that my brain bandwidth was off. It created, like, I would feel like I was vibrating when I would try to sleep.
Was that vibration throughout your whole body?
Yeah, when I would sleep, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. I just couldn't sleep. It made me extremely restless. Trying to think of some of the other symptoms. Oh, my ears would light up really hot. Like, I wouldn't have a fever, but my ears would be like bright red and hot. It was very, it agitated everything about me. But losing the feeling in my hands, that made me nervous. My chin, I lost feeling in my chin. Trying to think of some other things. But the scary part was the brain fog.
Tell the people about that, because you're kind of I would consider you to be a real affluential person in the Christian community. Maybe you can tell the Floxie community, like, what you do and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the Lord has been kind to us. We are a people of faith. We pastor a large church in the Chicagoland area. And so I'm all the time communicating, all the time. Mm-hmm. 3-4 times a week, we have multiple services. We have multiple campuses. And so I was doing a Thursday night. We do a first Thursday prayer gathering with our main campus. Uh-huh. And as I was speaking, things that were normal for me to know, I just didn't know anymore. It threw me for that big of a loop. Things that I went to multiple degrees in theology, mm-hmm. Working on my third one as we speak. And I just didn't know the basic stuff. It threw me for such a loop. I thought, my word, what has happened? So that really, and I was in the middle of speaking when it happened.
Like, you were just speaking, like, how many people did you speak to? How big is your congregation there, Rusty?
The main campus has about 1,500 people.
Okay, so it's big.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and we have multiple services. Then we've got other campuses that are a decent size as well. Mm-hmm. So it just, right in the middle of speaking, I couldn't recall, I couldn't think. It started to mess with my speech. I noticed I was having a hard time even with my speech. And so so that was the scariest part of me, to me. I mean, nobody knew about the hand thing except for my wife.
Right.
Let's see, some of the other, like the chin, I didn't go around talking about that, but I could feel like it was dead right here. It was weird.
Just a
So
numbness, just a nervous system numbness. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the ends of my fingers, my feet, my bottom of my feet would feel the same way as my hand. And I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
And then not being able to sleep, the vibration, it just felt like you were vibrating at night. It was just awkward. It was very
like would you call it like an internal tremor, Rusty? Now since I've helped like thousands of Floxies, this is like a common theme, like internal like tremor.
I would say yes. It was, and it was extremely unsettling because you don't know. I'm not a doctor. You just don't know. And I couldn't go back to my normal doctor that prescribed it because they thought I was a lunatic. Now, one thing that, but I don't use dairy. Gluten-free completely.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things is, I kind of like to describe it is, when I look at someone like being Flox, I'm just trying to apply the laws of Mother Nature, the laws of God, healing, however you want to describe it, like just allow your body to heal and function the way God designed it. Because if you have problems or something interfering with that innate God-given potential, so really that's kind of like what we're trying to do is figure that puzzle out, and then people or yourself can start to recover.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And that's one thing you would help me with the supplements and just giving it time. It kind of just keeping positive. I worked really hard on that because this also drug down I'm an eternal optimist. I am constantly optimistic, and I found that had shifted, and I almost got paranoid. It made me kind of paranoid. So through the supplements, I started really digging in on exercise. Helped me too. I remember asking you about wind because there's that fear of blowing out something. I haven't had any of that, but that exercise helped. The supplements helped. I've learned to encourage myself. I'm not trying to be spiritual here with everybody, but I think there's a very incredible benefit being able to encourage yourself. I mean,
for sure.
And so I just started to do that, and here we are, year and a half now. And I haven't had a single episode. So, I mean, thank the Lord. And I know there's others probably watching that have had it terrible, and I feel for them. Yeah. But there is hope. I really think you change your diet, because I learned that my gut is the second brain.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
So that helped. I think I was very intentional. I stopped all fast food. That helped. I mean, I was eating probably fast food 4 or 5 times. Don't get me wrong. I drive right by one on my way home, and it talks to me all the time.
No, I'm the same thing with Dairy Queen. I'd like to go to Dairy Queen 3 times a day, but you gotta just drive by.
And I'd come off of ice cream because of the milk thing. I think just when everything reset, along with the coaching, then your help with the supplements and things like that, I'm very grateful, because what I thought I was headed towards was just like, you just feel like it's over. You just feel like you're normal. And I'm a public communicator, and I just thought I can't get up and speak and articulate with any kind of clarity. And that's my voice is my job. And so I just thought, what is wrong? And then your mind starts thinking, do you have a tumor? Do you have, all that stuff. Your mind goes down that path. But thank God, it's been a year and a half now since we've been dealing with this. And I would say 90-some% back to normal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I still take some of those supplements to help with thinking and clarity, and they work really well. But but I would say we're on the right path.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of the things, like you and I, we both use our brain. Like, I'm real cognizant about my brain and the things I do to support my brain and the different supplements I use to use my brain. So one of the things with the brain fog is your brain fog, is it completely gone now? Like, are you clicking on all cylinders when it comes to using your brain?
The only time I can tell I'm not is if I'm really tired. When I get late in the evening, I don't have that bandwidth. So I've noticed I've just had to make adjustments. But I would say I'm real close to back to normal. But again, it's hard to give that. That's not a clear litmus, because I'm in a PhD program. Yeah. So I probably, when I get on the outside of that and I can take a breather, and then of course, if you add the pandemic that we're in right now and the pressure, so I don't know if I could give a full clarity to say that. But I would say I would say 95% better than what I was. If I would have been going through what we're going through right now a year and a half ago, we would have been in a different ballgame.
Yeah, for sure. Well, nice. Is there anything that you want to say to the Floxie community out there? Like any kind of ending notes at all, Rusty?
Yeah, I would say there's always hope. I know that the feels like There's never, it's never coming back. And I had those same feelings. I mean, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what was coming next. And you hear the stories, and I would also say one of the best things I did was I got off of those chats, those places that are full.
The Facebook chats.
I was on one of them, and I know people are trying to find help, and I'm very much pro help. But it became so discouraging, and I kept hearing so many terrible things that you almost, you became a magnet for it. And so I had to come completely off that. I'm praying for all those that are still dealing with that. But there is hope. Your body does reset. For me, changing my diet was a game changer. Finding what I was allergic to was a game changer, because what that pill, like you explained me, did was it took off the issue of sinus, but then it went after my weaker organs that were inflamed because of things I was allergic to. So once I shifted that, and I fixed that. Now there's hope. I just want to keep pushing it. There's hope. There's always hope. The body is masterful, and there's hope. And I would just say, have faith. There's hope. Get with a doctor like Dr. 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝘁. Let him guide you through it. It takes time. I mean, I'm fast-paced type A, so I was hoping for a quick resolution. Took time, but through discovery, there's some good positive things that come out of this. I mean, I look at this as, even though I don't wish this upon anybody, but now I know I was allergic to things that could have caused an autoimmune, like the off of that. So the silver lining is there's hope. And you'll find you'll rediscover some things, and you do come back. I just want to encourage people. They will come back. With God's help, they'll come back.
Yeah, I think that's a real critical thing. Like I have this saying now, is where there's help, there's hope. Right. So where there's help, there's hope. People have to find a beacon of truth. And then, truthful principles as a spiritual man are always the same. Like they're going to be the same 1,000 years ago as they were today. This is how you know that you have a truthful piece of information that you can actually grab onto and move forward with. And, I just kind of go back to, you look at the amazing power that God put in our body to heal itself. So that's a truth. That's a truthism that you can take to the grave, that your body has an ability to heal from a power that's much senior to us, right? When you cut your finger and it heals, that's an amazing thing. That's a power that's instilled in our body by God, the higher power. So it's just a matter of figuring out, like, where's this innate healing ability not working right, trying to figure that out. And then you let the body be, and then the power that made the body will heal the body. And then where there's help, there's always hope.
I agree 100%. I'm not trying to be religious, but if you go back to the beginning with Adam and Eve are created never to die. Right. So inside the human body, there's a recreative process. Now, through all the stuff that we put in, and I'm just as guilty as anybody watching of putting junk in here. But the body is built to recreate itself. And I think if you get it time, like finding help, getting encouragement, I mean, for me, I can't speak for everybody, but I hunkered into my faith. My absolutes, there are absolutes, and I hunkered into those, and it sought me through it, got me through it. And it'll get others through it too, as well. There is hope. There is hope. That's just if you lose hope, I always try to explain, your hope is your incubator for your faith. Everybody says have faith. I say, if you don't have hope, you have nothing to base your faith on. So hope is so important. And we live in a world where right now everybody's trying to steal everybody's hope. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying. Don't let people steal your hope. That would
get
be
off the news.
That's what we do. We just don't let people steal your hope.
One thing I like, when people come to me that have been floxed and they have some kind of spiritual understanding or belief, I always like those patients, because then you have your body, you have your your body, your this thing here, but then you have this other component that's just as important as the physical body. And when people can find the two, and the two can come together, that's really when I think healing takes place. Versus, this is my belief, is like when you go to the conventional medical system, this whole spiritual realm is pretty much non-existent in that capacity. So I think when people come, especially like my belief system is, when people come to me, I'm like, we have to figure out why that power that God put in your body is not functioning. And when we can do that, that's when we can move this needle from floxing to health, or whatever disease you have. So I think this is a really key component. that is really missing throughout the what I would quote the conventional system is the spiritual component, where people have a higher faith and understanding that there is an ability to heal their body, that a medicine man, a pill, is nowhere near the superior power of what God put in your body to heal itself.
I agree 100%. And, of course, we live in such a fast-paced world. We've all been guilty just running to the doctor, and I'm not anti-doctors by any means, but they just want to give you a pill, right? Yeah. And I've been guilty of not researching that, not looking at that, not saying, what does that do? What is that going to do? And so, but I'm with you. I think that the closer you can get in your faith, the more rock solid you'll be on your ability to spring back, I think, and come forward. I mean, like for me, I don't wish this upon anybody, but I feel like I've come out of this and gained coming out of this.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think everyone can. I think you can come out of this and gain. I as much as I'd like to go get ice cream, I know what that now does. I've done enough research to know that that's not good for me, and it can lead to other things down the road. I mean, I've got 2 little kids. Many people watching have kids. Yeah. I want to be around a long time. And I know that if I don't treat the temple, well, I call it the temple. I mean, we only get one of these,
That's right.
I'll never forget, I was putting gas in my car one time, and I was putting high end in my car. And I just felt the impression on the inside of me say, if you're putting high end in your car, why are you, because I had just got McDonald's, why are you putting it? And that was just me. And I felt very convicted personally. I'm not trying to convict somebody for eating McDonald's, but me, I was eating a cheeseburger while I was putting high end in my car. I was treating my car better than I was treating me. So that was a personal conviction. Yeah. And I've lived like that since this moment, because I find that I feel better. I think better. I'm exercising. I've got more clarity of thought, and I'm so grateful for it. So,
you're a pastor, and you have I think you have some PhDs, and you're making a huge impact with a lot of people around your area, and I think around the United States.
Yeah, and they all, most of our congregants know that I've gone through something. I'm very transparent, and so I've walked some of them through that, because we've got doctors in our churches. I've got in my life group, and they've just all been amazed at how I've walked through this, and they've seen me just walk this out. I'm just not going to quit, not going to give up. And that's another thing. I think on those pages I was following, there was such a heart or a mentality of quitting. People just wanting to give up and say, oh well. I think when you do that, I think the mind shuts down. I think the body begins to go a different direction. Just don't quit. There's always hope. I think that is just the message of the hour.